Hey traders, how you doing? How was your week? You guys do all right? Get some cheddar, give up some cheddar. I had a handful of losses early in the week, and then I had a nice 3-to-1 trade at the end of the week to cover up those mistakes, and then put some money in the bottom or the in the I was going to say bread basket, but add to the bottom line. So we're just checking out just doing a little review. It's Sunday, the 24th, about 4 in the afternoon, and I just wanted to get in here and kind of get my head straight. I did trade on Friday. Uh, did you guys? I don't. How did you guys do? I didn't. I had a you know if I have a good day on Thursday, and after the week I had, I wasn't really in the mood. I'm also leaving for the holiday, so um, I really didn't feel like dealing with it. So that makes it easy. Once you've been trading enough, you kind of uh, get a feel for these types of things. But when I went back to look at the market and I started going through our steps, right? I'm looking for the impulse leg right there, the shelf right there. We see our buyers lined up. Our buyers are lined up, right? We have our wash. Our wash takes out the the shelf. So we identify that right there. Give it a little color. And then we have the retest up here. And then we have our entry with a proper stop. So that's it. You know, 5 simple steps to a successful trading business. And it's all free. I'm just here to point you out. Our members get fresh daily updates. So if you want to stay on top of the action and get screenshots and ideas and thoughts, and I'm not telling you how to trade, but I'm just kind of pushing you in the right direction, hopefully improving your winning percentage. Lots of I don't know. I get into this stuff, as you can see, um, but that's pretty simple, right? Pretty straightforward. Your order's there. You got paid on that bar there, whatever that was. Now that wasn't a day trade. Didn't happen during the day. I mean, you're in, right? Maybe you got up here and said, I'm going to take a 2-to-1 instead of a 3-to-1. Maybe I'll take a 1-to-1 to this Friday. It gives you choices now, right? Now you're not locked in. But then I was playing around with a couple of um, these impulse legs, because they start to show up once you start to see. There's an impulse leg coming off the backside here. You can see this bar right here, right? Let's get in there so you can see it. When I see this bar launch up like that, and then it's got another one over here's a good one over here. Yeah, there's one here. There's a big long bar here, and there's another one here. And this is actually, well, it's kind of a shorter one. But it's a similar type of thing, right? That structure, that impulse up, and then it frames out really, really nice. That's you can see how that one kind of has that wash characteristic. There's a impulse up and then a shove down, and it uh, gives you that wash you know, boom, boom. This one's a little bit different, but it's still the same concept, right? So you can draw off of that as well because it's similar. It's not something I'm really teaching because I don't have a really strong 3-to-1 setup for it, but it still works. It still works, right? So we're just looking for that impulse leg and that shelf, and this just keeps you out of trouble. But if you want to do that, I can see that. You know, here's your impulse leg down. There's really no shelf, um, and this is in hindsight, so it works as most things do in hindsight. But we get ideas from this, right? Maybe that's the shelf. Maybe that's the shelf. I don't know. All the components are there, right? Comes down, tests the low, pulls back up. I'd like to think I could get that trade, but I really can't. That's too low for me. It's interesting though. The same concept. It just is not as clean in my book. Um, and then you have another impulse leg down, right? Impulse legs taking out something that's impulsing past there, right? And then you start seeing this pull back up here. See that big bar there, right? And for you Fibonacci guys out there, it's taking out 50% of the swing, right? And for those people out there, what swing am I trading? It's this swing right here. Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff going on, but we're kind of doing two things at once here. Um, the problem with this is that you don't get a retest for this impulse leg, right? So now you're, you know, and this is why I love this setup is because it keeps me out of trouble, right? And that's not my trade. I just let it go. I don't try and catch any of that stuff. And it's 7:30 in the morning, guys. We have a full day of trading ahead of us. So the impulse leg comes down. I see some buyers here, but then or some sellers, and then I see the wash to the upside, but then to the downside there's no retest. So this isn't what we want to have. This isn't our swing. So let's just get rid of a lot of this stuff here, if not all of it. And then you come up again, and this is what I want you guys to do is just practice seeing these things. Practice seeing the wash, and this one doesn't really give us a clean wash or a retest. In fact, it's kind of weird, right? Because this one here is, and again, it's not an impulse, and I don't think this is something I would even be able to catch. But in hindsight, I can see the wash right here, hard down, hard up, and the reason why it works is because it takes out this guy here. So this impulse leg here is now right. It starts to pull back. It makes a little shelf. There's a bar here. Now I realize I'm not trying to make. I'm trying to see where these guys get wiped out, and that's it. Right? They're trying to. That's where they hold right there. And then you have this out here, and you have a nice little 3-to-1, easy 3-to-1 trade right there inside the swing. Right? So you can see this one just take off up there. But you have to be able to see that. And I'm not saying I'm that good. In hindsight, I can see it, but in real time, I'm still thinking this is going to go down. And that's why I like this system, because it keeps me out of trouble. So then we have another impulse leg up. And this is all you have to do every day, guys. Just follow the impulse leg. And then you start to see it pull back. Look at that right there. See that shelf being built? There's a shelf right there. Buyers, buyers, buyers. This looks kind of like a wash, maybe inside of this here. You know, what did it take out? It didn't really take out anything, but it's right along that line there. And then you have your retest up here. So you'd be looking for something maybe down in here. maybe down in here, and then it comes off. I don't know. You could even argue that this is kind of your wash in here, a double kind of wash. But then once it gets here, and it's and it's not a big hit. If you you're going to be down here, you get taken out pretty quick. So that's good. That's the upside to that lousy trade. And then just jump on the other side now, and we're going to follow it down. And there's a shelf right there. We have a little wash, and I can see that's a wash because it's a hard up. It's taken out the sellers right here, and then it comes down, but it doesn't give us a retest. It doesn't give us a retest. So I don't know. I go to the next impulse leg, down, hard up, right? Now we just need to have it come down here and test. That doesn't count. That's not far enough for me. So we're walking along, 8:30, 9 o'clock. Right, it's still going down. It's still going down. It's still going down-ish. Now it's qualified. Impulse leg down. But maybe that's your shelf now. Right? Right? That's your shelf because maybe that's your wash. Let's make that your wash. I'm going to steal this one here. That's your wash right there. So maybe in there somewhere is your sellers or your shelf. Maybe that's a. I'm not saying that's not bad, right? You got a guy there, get cleaned out, popped up, popped down, retest the backside. You're in now. This is your that would be your sell right there, right? And look at the stop on that thing though. You're coming out $36 a contract, and where are you going? Right? This is the low, and that price is going up. So I don't know if this is really a high quality trade, guys. It's all there, but the problem is the flow is off. Again, I didn't trade on Friday, so I have to deal with this. And you get wiped out, and you're like bummed. Okay, start over. Take this impulse leg. Start over. You're looking for some sort of, maybe is that a wash there? And guys, the more you play with this stuff, the more you see it, and the more you see it, the easier a lot of this stuff starts to jive and make sense. And you make your mistakes and you take your lumps, and at least you'll be back. You can have something to follow, right? So does it come back and test us? Does it come back and test us? It does, and it takes you out. Oh goodness gracious! Oh my gosh! So again, it's happened to me, guys. I always so if your stop is right below here, there's a billion orders right there. That guy just gobbled them up. So that's one of my little, I always have just a little extra. And on this guy here, I would look at that and be like, God, I got to get below this guy. Well, but what swing am I trading? So it's like I don't want to be right there, but I'm just a little bit more. And that saved me. So if that's my trade, that's where I'm at. And it's a quick 3-to-1. You probably get 5 to 1. Oof. Well, there you go. There it is. 5 to 1 at 940. Isn't this great? I mean, it's honestly, you guys are so lucky that you don't have to go look for anything else. You don't have to go find some other system. You just have to get good at this skill, and your day trading will take off. My numbers are going through the roof once I started this channel and got really serious about kind of showing you guys these things because it helps me uh, in a lot of ways become a better trader. And it's something that I've struggled. I mean, I'm like most of you guys. I struggled for years trying to figure out how to do this. There's so many different things you can trade, so many different things you can do. And here I am, all these years later. I'm finally, okay, I can get this. I can do this. And I don't trade a lot of money. I trade. What am I doing? Um, enough um, to earn a living and to I'm not trying to get rich here. I know that I've moved a lot of money before, thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, and it carries a lot of different weight. And uh, I've lost that much money as well. So I like to keep my size down a little bit because it just adds a little bit more pressure to a situation. Um, and I'm not here for the stress of it all. I do make money, but I'm not here to carry. I'm not moving hundreds of thousands of dollars, guys. Look at that play out. Look at that play out. Right? Price comes up, does its wash, comes back and tests it, and then wow, I'm fascinated by it. I really am. Price starts to come off the top. Remember, at a new high or a new low, price will change direction. Even in here, even in this little swing here, right? You have price come up, down, and as it goes up, what does it do? It pulls back, goes up, pulls back, goes up, pulls back. So oftentimes, taking your money at a new high is perfectly acceptable. You've met the need of that swing, and we're not looking for huge moves. We're day traders. I'm on a tick chart. Um, and if you guys want to trade, 1-to-1 trades, this is a great way to just do 1-to-1s. You're going to get, you can play all the little swings, I guess, if you wanted to, and try and figure out how to catch these little moves in here. It's up to you. You can just start to, follow the impulse leg, look for the shelf, look for the retest, and find a way to get in. Use a stop. Uh, I saw one in here too. I know if I talk long enough, I'm going to see him. It jumps out at you, right? There's the impulse leg. There's a wee little shelf in there. There's the wash. See how that wash is different? That's hard down, hard up, nice, transition point. Hits the top, comes back down, and look at this. If you took this up here, it didn't work. And I'm not saying that I know that this trade was going to do this, but if you got down here somewhere, you're 3-to-1. I don't know if I would have taken that one. I mean, it's in there. I can see it. But then you can start filtering them out too. It's up against this guy. You're getting a little reaction. I don't know. It's easy to say in hindsight. In real time, it's different. But then just follow the impulse legs, and here's another one, right? Just where's the shelf, you know? Um, I would have said something like that as a shelf. You know, you've got a piece here. You don't have much there. Little room. It would have paid out. A little room, right? That works. Impulse leg, shelf, wash. There's your wash, right? Hard up, hard down. Test. And the test can be, you know, in some cases it's it doesn't, it runs into these, because what's happening is that price is running into this guy right here. Where's my price is running into these guys right here. Like up here, price is running into this piece, right? So that's why it has that reaction. There's sellers, and in this case, there's buyers that it runs into, and it tries to take them up and it sells them down again. So you're getting a reaction off those levels. That's why support and resistance, people talk about it. I call it a pressure cooker and a kill zone, for a variety of reasons. So you got another one there. And now you're at 10, 11 o'clock, it looks like. And, you know, if you're paying attention to the big swing, you know, the impulse leg up, where we're at there. Oh, that drawing there. You've got your wash. You've got your shelf, right? All right, forget it. I just get to a point where I can't even see it anymore. I just can't even see it anymore. But it comes up out of here, and it comes across here. See the reaction? That's your pressure cooker. You've got a bigger wash now. It's almost like that, right? So you see that, how hard down that comes in there, hard down that comes in there. Look at that's just that on a different different time frame. You've got your kill zone where price lands. Now you could also, if you're so inclined, you could buy these bottoms and use that as a stop as well and trade that. Just another setup. Just, you know, you're just selling with, you're buying with the buyers, or you're selling with the sellers, or you're buying with the buyers. You know, you're just in these two zones here playing back and forth. You know, if you bought that or you sold that, where's your stop? You know, you got to be up above. You know, this guy's up here, or just wait for it to hit here. You know, say I'm going to sell anything against that line, and you would have had a decent trade to the downside, the whole thing. Now you don't know if it's going to go or not, but I'm just saying, you know, that's another strategy. Simple, easy. You know, you got to work out your kinks on that whole thing. I don't do it often, but I have done it before. It's not as consistent. It's consistent for me as other setups. And then as the day wears on, price pulls back. You know, if you're hanging out still, trying to find something to get into by the end of the day, it's tough. You know, it was nice. I didn't have to do much. It was a nice day to chill. That one works. See that? I see this here. And I want you guys to get this good at seeing this. See how when I put this up here, these connect right here. This buyer and this buyer, and then there's a buyer here, and then you can just see the hard down, the push up. So it just cleans out everybody. Everybody's got to go. Reposition. It's essentially what we're trying to do, right? We're just trying to get to them after they've been wiped out. It retests the kill zone or the pressure cooker, and then gives you a beautiful entry right on the backside of the wash, where it's safe to go back in the water and put your orders up, and you're out before there's a new high. So you've got to see them. They're out there. They're I'm here to help you. Find your do a lot of them, guys. It's not hard to see them. I don't know how to describe it. It's just once you start to see these things start to play out, your business really starts to change, and how you approach the chart is different too. If I sit down at my computer and I've got, I don't know, like there was a trade this week um, where I didn't have any time. I didn't have any time. It's right here. It was no, that's not it. It was right here. I had been gone doing something, dropping kids off. I don't know, whatever it was I was doing. But I got this trade here, and all I really saw was I saw the impulse leg come off. Of course I looked at this, and I saw this impulse leg up here, right? This huge impulse leg up here, and so and then I saw this part up here, and it had been tested already here. So I was like, okay, we're already on we're already at our entry, right? If we're going through our steps, step 1, impulse leg, step 2, shelf, step 3, wash, step 4, retest, step 5, enter. So we have the impulse leg, we have the shelf, we have the wash, and then the retest is right there. And then I got in, I think, on this one here. Now, what I did correctly is I didn't put my stop right there. I put my stop right here. And that allowed me to get through this and survive this trade. Because this one here, and I felt great, man. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, look at that bar coming out of there. I was like, phew, another easy one. And then it pulled back, and then it pulled back. And then I was kind of, you get that feeling it's not really in a hurry. Like this down here is in a hurry. That's in a hurry. This is just taking its time. And so I was watching it, and then I saw this bar come down, and I was like, oh geez. And then this one came down. I'm like, oh, here comes the train, and it stopped right there. And it was like, I'm so glad I don't put, I don't know how many times, guys, how many times you put your order, you put your stop right there, and it gets popped out, or put your order down here and do it that way. It gives you a whole different risk perspective. Just it's not 100% guaranteed that this is always going to be, you get these pullbacks that are deeper like that. So you got to kind of, I would have been stopped out, but I got that one. It was good. I actually think I got a little bit farther up the line in there, somewhere in here. But it's the same thing. I just saw the impulse leg, and then I saw this up here, and then it was already down here. I looked for the wash. I said, oh, it's already been washed out. So that's, it's been tested. Now maybe it could have done that, and that would have been, the way it goes. But this one held, so I was happy to grab that one. And then because we see this stuff, why not play it on the smaller one? Maybe you missed this. You're like, oh dang it, impulse leg up. There's a shelf right there. Right? Why not play this smaller swing? The shelf wash. You guys see that wash right there? There's a wash right there. And there's a retest there and an entry right on the shelf. And that's probably a better trade than the one I took. And that's probably where I would have got in had I got stopped out on that one and said, okay, I got to figure out a way to get back in. Right. So just because something happens, either you miss your trade, you get stopped out on your trade, you go break even on your trade, whatever happens, just know that there's another setup right around the corner. Just follow that impulse leg, up. And then you start to see, this one is here. This is the wash. That's the wash right there, guys. There's no shelf. It's ugly as can be. But you've got all these other pieces of the puzzle and you can start to see it. And then the other thing is if you miss it, like if you miss this one here, hold on. If you miss this one here, often, put your orders down there again. See if it hits it twice. And then you get another opportunity. It's just, you have to kind of get creative about this stuff. You guys are creators over here doing your own, building your own business and trying to get better at your craft. And the more you see this, the more confidence you'll have. And you just start to, see it show up in all these places. And then you're on the right side of the market. You're on the right side of the trade. You're not fighting your bias. You're not doing all these things that get into your head, and you have an exit. You have a strategy. You're able to say, okay, I'm going to get in here. I'm going to get out here. I'm going to put my stop in here. I'm going to do this. Right? That one didn't, that's how close it is, right? That's how close it is. There's the wash. So go find these guys. Go find 100 of these things and just draw them up and be like, okay, I see it. There's your back test. There's your back test, your course, your trading philosophy, all the stuff. Everything comes into right there. Everything that you've been trying to put together is right there. Impulse leg, shelf, wash, retest, enter. Thanksgiving week's coming up. What do we got in the news? I'm probably going to be in the market tomorrow. I'm taking off on holiday on Tuesday, so I don't know if I'm going to be around. A bunch of nonsense. Tuesday, consumer confidence comes out at 7, so let's wait till after 7 to trade, and then some stuff in the afternoon. Wednesday, yeah, I'm not sure. Some other okay. There's minutes coming out at 11, so be aware of that. Thursday, I don't think it's even open, and Friday it might be closed too. I don't know. I try and keep this stuff so simple, guys. I'm not trying to, I don't trade other people's money. I don't have to worry about things. Anyhow, keep going on, guys. This is great. I was so excited. Had some great comments, and you guys are starting to pay attention. And I think it's just, if you're just starting out, just find that impulse swing and or that impulse leg, and it just starts to clear up. It starts to clear up, and you can see. You can look at this, right? Don't get mad at me for doing this one, but it's gonna be like there's no one on this side. But you see what I'm looking at here, guys? There's a wash, and then you got a thing here, and then this guy took out the high, and then it comes back down in here somewhere. Right? It's too early too. You're not trading that time, but it's the same setup, right? All we're missing here is the shelf. And if you did take this trade, okay, you're in there. Your stop is $192 a contract. Does it work? That's going to. You could have sat there for 2 days. Yeah, we're day traders. We get out of that stuff. But it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. It's the impulse leg. It's the shelf. And this is really deep. I would never. But I'm just saying that, these things show up all over the place. The biggest time frames and the smallest ones. You don't have a lot of time to trade. You can either trade a larger time frame and take 2 or 3 days to do it, or learn how to find this setup. And when you see it show up, you just grab onto the impulse leg, you look for the shelf, and You see it? It's right there. Pow. You're in. You're in. Why does this one work? You have the impulse, right? We have the shelf, right? This is our wash right here. It's one skinny little guy. Still works, right? Took out the shelf. Tests it, right? Lays it right there. Boom. On the back side. It takes off. There you go, 9:15. All right, guys. We'll rest up and have a good night, and we'll talk later this week. All right. Thanks for sticking around.